Are you fumbling through social media wondering why you're not getting traction? Or maybe you're not reaching your ideal client or any clients at all? And you keep hearing you need a brand, but what exactly is that? Is that the reason why you're not reaching your client? Today, Beth and I are going to do a deep dive into why you need a brand. And yeah, we know you're hearing it everywhere. And how to actually take some steps to get there. Let's do this. You're listening to the Girl, Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl, Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in.
Hey, Beth, remember when you didn't have a brand and how that was going?
Yeah, or it wasn't going.
So today we are going to do a deep dive into what a brand really is, why you need one. And we know you're hearing this everywhere. Like everyone needs a brand, not just a business, but we're going to do a deep dive into why exactly you need a brand and how to actually do it. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. Okay. We are hearing it everywhere. It's the buzz. It's kind of the buzz of the moment. But why exactly do you need it, especially in real estate? Like that's the part that it totally escaped me that I wasn't even doing a brand until you brought it to my attention and you're like, yeah, you're not operating a brand. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know, I think it's interesting that you just said like, why especially in real estate? Like, let's back up just a second here. So every single business needs a brand. It's just the way it is. And there's a lot of confusion between like what a business is versus what a brand is. So maybe let's start there.
Yeah.
And kind of break
tell
that
us
down.
What is the difference?
Okay. So a really simplified way to look at this is the business is the products or services that you're offering, right? That you are selling or offering. So in real estate, it would be your services, right? Yeah. A brand is the emotional part of it, the personality behind it, the identity, the voice, how you want people to feel and how you want them to see you. So it's the actual connection. And without the brand with the business, there's a huge disconnect. And as the world changes, and as it has changed, people are not buying from businesses anymore. They are buying from brands. So let me repeat that one more time. People do not buy from businesses. They buy from brands. This is why you need a brand.
Yeah.
And we keep hearing this all over the place, and it's finally hit the real estate world. And the reality is real estate is always about, 10 years behind. No, just kidding.
It feels like it.
That wasn't very nice.
In some arenas, it feels like it's behind.
So, yeah,
for sure.
It feels very archaic in so many areas. And this is definitely one of them. And without one, I know that I've said this before on the podcast, but you're not going to have a sustainable business moving forward without a brand unless you have an exit plan of just a couple years. You're just not going to.
Yeah.
So this is something that we've talked about a little bit before on the show, and I've talked about it in a couple of solo episodes, but we really want to dive in because something huge is being missed out there right now.
Yeah, really. If you're just operating just your business, but the brand is being left out of it, really you're leaving like 50% of your business on the table.
I would dare to say even more. I would dare to say even more. And the reality is with the shift in real estate, and we can kind of talk about this a little bit more moving forward, but the shift of a younger generation buying homes. And the numbers there, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's huge. And we just did a show on working with millennials and how that age gap is closing, right? Like how they are a huge part of the real estate market. So it's a younger clients are getting into it, and it's a different way of looking at business. So without a brand, you're just not going to be operational in a couple years. And I know it's painful to hear that, but it's just so true. So when you think a brand, it's not just social media either. We should probably preface with that, right?
Yeah. So let's do like, what else does it encompass? Like,
well, it's your identity, it's the voice, it's how you make people feel. So it's not just the product or service. So you can put, on your social media, a home sold or a home for sale, over and over again.
And that's what so many real estate agents do. You pull up their social media and it's full of just sold, just listed, just sold, just listed. And I'm looking at that going, well, now I know the difference. But before, it feels like that marketing is really geared towards other real estate agents and not really to the consumer, because the consumer looks at that and is just like, who cares? Like, if I don't even know anything about this person. I'm like, they sell houses, big whoop-de-doo, but no one's making a connection with just listed and just sold post.
Well, and the just sold posts work once you have a brand and you have a connection and you've built the identity behind it. People want to see that you're working. People want to see what you're selling and doing and that kind of thing. So that's when it comes into play. But there's your remaining 50 to 75% of your quote unquote business. Right. So it's huge. And, within your brand is your brand identity, which is all your visuals too. So those all lie within that. And that's so separate from just your business itself. Like we just brought up, we've mentioned branding and the importance of it, really throughout. The episode with Allison where we talk about the visuals, we've talked about your brand, Beth, in our earlier episodes and how we got there, the process of that. And now everyone's, you need video and you need a brand. Like these are the two big things right now. Like you're not going to be successful without doing video and without having a brand. And I completely agree with both of those, but I do think you can have success without video, but it's not a good idea. It's going to be harder. But without a brand, the answer is like totally no. And so right now we are being marketed to courses and like lessons, and like we're just getting drilled of how we need to be putting out video on social media. And yes, it's helpful. Yes, it's helping our algorithm. Yes, it's helping us reach people. But what I am seeing, and I think Beth, you would agree with me, is that we are now screaming to the masses and all doing the same thing. Now, not everyone, but the majority is, my feed is filled with the same type of video, talking about the same type of thing in real estate, and it is not on brand. Your brand voice is completely missing. And so this is where I think burnout can happen big time and overwhelm can happen. And so when you turn in like the Tom Ferrys of the world, the Jason Pantanas or anyone else marketing to realtors with, yes, what they are saying, video, yes, you absolutely do like need this. It is going to help your business, but they're also speaking to the masses. And if you have not identified your brand and you're not speaking through a brand voice and targeting your ideal client or your target client, there's literally no reason for you to be posting a video just to post it. So like the content that's getting posted right now, just to post, is saturating the video like marketplace on social media. And my fear is that people like realtors in general, if we're speaking realtors or just any other small business, if you're all saying the same thing and you're all doing the same thing, you no longer stand out. Your identity and your uniqueness is gone. So you've no longer given someone a reason to work with you. You are now like starting to feel like everyone else. Or
you're getting so annoying that people are just simply tuning you out.
Exactly. You're just like scrolling and I'm like, oh, when I go through, like if something is different and like really speaks to me, I'm going to notice. Taya DeCarlo is doing amazing with this.
Yep.
Glenda Baker. And you don't have to be at that level. Like they're doing great. There are many realtors that are doing great with us, like a great job with this. But just showing up just to show up and that like, just, it gets confusing because it's like, just execute, right? And like, just do it. But if you're not doing it with your brand in mind and you don't have a clear identity of what that really is, you're missing the mark and creating so much work for yourself. And wasting time is wasting money. So that's really like what we wanted to dive into a little bit more here on that big piece that's being missed. So you can stop working so hard and work smarter.
Yeah, I know from before you and I started working together, I was very haphazardly posting on social media. I would do videos kind of here and there. There wasn't a whole lot of rhyme or reason behind them. I wasn't doing any of like the trending stuff that you're seeing a lot of agents do right now. I wasn't doing like, Beth, trending dances, like, let's just say that probably would have never happened.
Maybe it's in our future plan.
Oh my God. Like, so I wasn't doing any of that, but I really wasn't doing anything to make myself stand out. I certainly wasn't showcasing my talents to, maybe just barely scratching the surface on that, but not to the extent that I should be doing or that I am now. And I was literally just kind of showing a highlight reel. I wasn't really diving in. I wasn't going deep. I wasn't being vulnerable with clients and potential clients and future clients. I really wasn't doing that. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of what I was doing, and I feel like what a lot of other agents are doing out there right now, is that they're literally appealing to other agents rather than what their ideal future clients
which is
like.
Honestly incredibly smart if you want to start a real estate coaching business. But if you're trying to sell houses and you're only appealing to other agents, and I don't even see as much of that, Beth, as I see just people putting stuff out there just to put it out there.
Yeah.
Like low quality produced videos, which again, you don't have to spend a ton of money on videos. Like you can, if they're decent, that's fine.
Yeah.
And just so much emphasis placed in this one area now that everything else is just being forgotten.
Yeah.
And that is scary because that is not sustainable moving forward. So like right now, when I see social media, it's like a really loud, like mega concert. And it used to be like, if we're speaking of Instagram, for instance, and it used to be a place for inspiration. And now
it used to be my happy place, and now it stresses me out.
So loud. It's like strobe lights and like someone spilling their drink on you. Like it feels like you're in this chaotic mess. And the one thing though is a video that does resonate with you, that is on brand from a company that you are comfortable with, that you know, like, and trust, you notice them even through that. But the rest of it is just like getting scrolled through and wasted, and it's just taking up space.
Yeah, people truly want to work with others that they know, like, and trust. We've said this so many times on different episodes, and that so much of that is being missed on content that people are putting out on social media. And if you haven't identified your brand and your voice and who you're trying to serve and who you are to the core and how that relates to who you want to serve, of course, you're not going to be putting out stuff that really attracts people that you want to know, like, and trust you. It totally makes sense.
And the time it takes, right? Even if you've got great processes in place, which I'm going to guess if you don't have an identified brand right now, those processes are a little bit murky. So it's sucking so much time out of your life. And I just really think with this idea that we all need to be doing the same thing, we're starting to lose the reason why. And it's just the time suck. It's overwhelming. So basically, I think like, and you tell me what you think, Beth, is I think we went from getting bombarded from realtors like back in the day on billboards, bus benches, still see that.
Bus benches.
Like mailers. My goodness, we receive mailers left and right to our home to sell our house. And now on social media, we're getting bombarded with the same old content. That's the same agent, like this from one agent to the next. So it's a very similar like marketing strategy, right? It's a very similar like feel to like realtor everywhere on bus benches, realtor everywhere on billboards, but now we're just seeing it on social media. Yeah. So this place that could be inspirational and a place for connection is starting to turn into a place that is just icky.
Well, and it's interesting that you hear of people that are like, oh, I've totally ditched Facebook. And then everybody jumped onto Instagram for their new place. Don't
ditch Facebook.
We've got a whole episode of that coming up down the road.
Sidebar. Don't ditch Facebook.
But now it's interesting to even hear people say that they've jumped off of Instagram. One of my cousin's wives, she's like, I'm not on Instagram anymore. And it was weird because I was like, man, I haven't seen her in a while. So it's so strange for millennials to be like, nope, I'm just even done with that. Yeah. But you get it. Like if they're not being inspired and they're not finding content that they can really relate to and resonate with.
It's not authentic. If it's not like you and it's not your brand, it's not authentic, and people can see that from a mile away.
Yep.
So
and people just get weary of it and they just turn it off.
So, and this is like in no way to make you feel disheartened or like this is a uphill battle. It's just to kind of like, let's get back to the framework, like to growing your brand and like, which then will create a successful business. So like, what makes you unique? How do you do things differently? What your brand voice is, like who you're speaking to and what content you're creating for them, not you, and what space you're doing it in.
Right.
Because right now that abundance of content is not making you stand out, and you want to stand out and you want to make a connection to someone on the other end.
Absolutely. Well, and if you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, guess what? We have some actionable items for you to focus on. Woo-hoo. I mean, what would an episode like this be if we didn't give you some things to do?
Work smarter.
Otherwise, you'd be like, gosh, they basically told me to not do anything that I'm doing. And now what do I do?
Assholes.
We wouldn't leave you hanging. So we have 5 actionable items. Okay. All right, Christy, what's number 1?
So we want you to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the game, and build a sustainable business in the process. So number 1, identify who you're speaking to. Who is this message for? What is your ideal client, audience? And speak to them every single time you post. The post is never for you. It's never
Say that
for
again.
you. And it doesn't mean it can't fill you up, right? It can't be like feel good to post it and that sort of thing. You're posting to your client or to the person you are trying to reach. And this is how you're going to start developing that brand voice.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I think you should say that again. This post is not for you.
It's not for you. It's not for your highlight reel. It's to serve your clients or serve your audience or to build your community. However you're doing that, it's not all to sell. It's to serve. So that is the intention of the post every single time you go and open up an app. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and number 2, what is the intention behind the post? Am I trying to educate? Am I sharing on an experience that I've had in the past that will resonate with them? Am I bringing joy to their day? If your intention is for me and me alone, then just don't post. Because like we said in item number 1, this is not for you. It is for them. So everything you post should really, really be intentional and really well thought out.
And you can simply hold space for people, others, and post. Like that is an option too. Share an experience and hold space for people. It doesn't have to be, again, like sale, constantly selling, constantly talking about real estate, constantly feeling like you need the like really aggressive call to action at the end. Like it just needs to be intentional.
Yeah.
So next one is, what do you do better than anyone else? And don't say nothing. Like there is absolutely something that you do better than anyone else, or something that makes you unique. What problem you can solve? Like what problem can you solve of theirs with your unique skill set? People want to know how you're going to be able to help them. So identify that and tell them.
All right. Number 4, keep your visuals and brand colors consistent. So you're totally recognizable. You're easily recognizable. And this needs to be throughout everything that you put out. So this includes emails that you send out weekly, any mailers that you would do, social media, videos. And this goes back to episodes where we had Allison Burns of Allie Marie Designs on.
Yeah.
You need to have brand visuals that if somebody sees it, they know instantly, holy cow, yeah, that's Bob Jones's real estate stuff. I know exactly who that guy is. I know everything about like who he's trying to serve. Oh, he's great at all of his educational things. You want everybody to just, the minute they see your stuff, they know exactly what they can expect.
Let me sidebar that or do a part 2 is you do not have to have a professional designer to make this happen.
True.
You can do this in Photoshop. You can do this in Canva. There are so many options for you to do it. Just make sure it's consistent.
Yeah.
You're not constantly changing it.
Yeah.
And then the last one is be authentically you. Like no one can copy you. You're literally the only thing that no one can copy about your business.
Yep.
So you're uniquely made, and show up as your authentic self and really showcase that and how you're going to help someone. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with that more. And I feel like everything that we just talked about are things that you and I have worked together on my business in the last 2 years. And it's so interesting to me that people connect on on my posts that I'm like most vulnerable about, talking about marriage, talking about, I don't know, weight, or, you know, bringing home a new kitty, things that I wouldn't think. Yeah, true. But they were things that I thought people would connect on. Oh, all of my 25-year knowledge of real estate. And it's shocking, but not shocking.
It's important, but like,
I think people already knew that about me.
They did.
Now they wanted to see me on a human level, and they're like, oh my gosh, I struggle with my weight. Or, oh my gosh, my husband is a goofball too. And oh my gosh, we just got a dog that's keeping us up all night potty training.
You can't buy your connection with other people. You just can't. You can only show up authentically to get it.
Right.
And that is so, so huge and just such a big piece of your business.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've gone through our 5 really easy, actionable items that you could really start working on the minute you get done listening to this podcast. Let's be honest here.
Do it.
So do you want to know how have a deeper conversation about all this personal branding?
How to actually, so like the next question is going to be, okay, so how do I actually figure out what my brand is?
Yes.
What my brand voice is, right?
Yeah.
And we get that. We totally get that. And that's something where we spent weeks really identifying yours. So I'm going to do a really, really deep dive into the building blocks, like the foundation of where you start.
It's going to be a great episode. I can't wait to hear that.
So that's
It'll be a good refresher for me too.
Yeah. So tune in next week for that to show, we're going to share how you actually go from crap, what is a brand, to making it come to life.
Yeah.
So, that was fun.
Well, I hope everybody learned something.
Yeah, I mean, this is such exciting stuff, and really where you can take your business with a brand that is truly authentic to you or in the clients you're serving is incredible. And this is what's going to, give you that sustainability moving forward. And I'm just really excited to see our social media switch back to this.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm so here for it.
Me too. So until next time, remember to keep your face off a bus bench and keep being the badass boss babe that you are. Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us, and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.